Welcome. This segment is about working with frustration and anger. It's such a normal human emotion, and yet it's something that is often really charged in our lives and has a lot of shame or fear associated with it. Right? Depending on the families of origin we grew up in or the social conditioning that we experienced, touching into anger or shame is not always comfortable. Right? But I'm going to argue that it's necessary and it's adaptive. In order to evolve and to stay safe, healthy aggression is essential, right? And when I'm talking about anger, I'm talking about the sympathetic response that comes with like the fight or flight response. Right? And this is also part of the nervous system, mind you, that just mobilizes us to do something. Right? It's not always about punching or kicking or running away, but it also, the sympathetic nervous system allows us to act or take action, take protection. Being able to feel protected, feel like we have agency is so essential to our psyche. And so there's often incredibly good reason to be angry, whether it is a personal violation of psyche, body, or heart, or it is the larger systemic and institutional oppressions and injustices that are out there. Right? Having that response is valid. And whether you feel like your emotional response is valid or not, which I'm going to argue it probably is because you're feeling it, right? It doesn't mean we have to hold on to it. Because when we hold on to it, that hijacks our agency, clarity, perspective, ability to take effective action. So these are going to be a couple of just very simple tools to help move the sensory experience that we're holding, that like the nervous system arousal experience in our bodies. Okay, so if you're working with anger right now, just notice where it's at. Okay, notice where it's really concentrated inside. Some of us, actually, before we go there, I'm just going to suggest that all of us pause the story. If you're actually feeling anger at this moment, I want you to pause the story, pause the details, pause the people involved, and just feel how it shows up inside. It might show up as tension, constriction. Some of us might start to collapse. Others of us just feel the blood rushing to our face or our arms, right? All normal, right? Let's just normalize that sensation is okay, right? There's no good or bad, it just is. So feel that. We're going to pause and just work with that sensation. I'm going to suggest that you grab a pillow or a towel. And I want you to imagine that you take the intensity that you're feeling within and we put it out into whatever you're holding, the pillow, the blanket, the towel. Okay? See if you can try to channel, almost as if this, whatever you're holding, has sensors on it to detect how much energy is inside. And we're only going to do this for about 5 to 7 seconds, then pause. Okay? So feel your feet on the ground. You might even tap your heels, feel your seat. I want you to take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, let the hands, the arms start to wring out, squeeze, almost like you're going to rip what you have in half, tear it apart. 4, 3, keep breathing. 2, 1, open your jaw, breathe out. Right. And notice, don't go right back in right yet. Just notice what's happening. You might feel more tense and the energy just went up for a second. Pause with that and watch it. You might actually feel a little bit more release. Some of you will actually kind of shake a little or tremor a little. That's the body discharging the overactivation. Okay, we're going to do that one more time. If this doesn't feel useful to you, just pause this or wait a moment and come in with the next exercise because there's going to be a couple of different tools I'm going to suggest. But get your hands really in there and allow it to use your whole arm and your core and your legs for 5 more seconds. Here we go. Open up the jaw as you breathe and wring this out. Feel free to let your face scrunch. Put all of the energy, all of the curse words, all of that into this. 3, 2, 1, release. Pause for a second. Little shivers, tremors, maybe even shake that out. Good. And when you've done that, Pause to notice the response. Give it a good shake. There you go. I suggest pausing with the story of why you're angry because that layers on so many elements. Right? So as we can simplify, often it feels less overwhelming to work with. Now, let's say that didn't work for you, or it's not in the arms, it's more in the belly, or more in the belly or the legs. Go ahead and take your feet hip distance, make sure the feet are underneath you, and we're going to press into the floor again for 5 seconds. Just go down, activate the feet as if you're pressing through the floor. 3, hands on the thighs. 2, back off. 1. The legs, the arms, they're major muscles of fight and flight. When there's a lot of arousal, the blood flow goes into those muscles and they need to be used. Right? Just like a car that has a lot of gas in it. The gas needs to be used at a certain point. So let's use the gas here. One more time. Press down. You might even open the jaw. You'll see me making some growling faces. I just don't want the jaw to get tight for you. And then release that out. Pause and notice again. I'm noticing even doing this, there's a little bubbling and expansion in the stomach. Common experiences, sensory experiences, might be a little lightheadedness. You might even feel a little nauseous at first as the nervous system states start to shift. Just go little bits at a time. Less is more. This energy is really powerful, so less activation into it can be really effective. Okay, now we're going to come up to standing, and I'll show you a few more standing tools to use when the frustration and the anger gets big.